I guess the pressure got to Peacock and they took her out. They done took out Cierra because y'all weren't about to do that Friday, but y'all took her out now because we were not letting off your necks. Because at the end of the day, we don't accept any slurs, whether it's towards Black people, Asian people, or any race. We do not accept slurs. We don't. We do not, Peacock. We do not. Let us jump into this. Let's jump into this because boy, oh boy, it's a mess.
Welcome back to Love Island USA. Cierra has left the villa due to a personal situation.
Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lex and I'm still in this not my regular setup. So I'm sorry if the light or anything is weird. Thank you for coming back to the channel. Okay, we have been here for almost the whole season of Love Island. I think we're in our final stretch, but that does not mean the content is in its final stretch. So just first off, a big thank you to those of you guys who actually gave me show suggestions in the comments. I wrote a lot of them down. I am going to determine which ones are the ones that I'm going to pre-record during the time, well, a little bit before I have my operation. Whew. And thank you guys for coming to the channel. Thank you guys for supporting the channel. Thank you guys for running up these last 3 videos. All of them have gotten over 10,000 views. Some of them getting up to 30,000 views. So thank you guys so much for that. It really means the world to me. And I'm also at 8.4K subscribers, which is amazing. Obviously, my big goal is 10,000. And well, maybe we can do it by the end of Love Island. Maybe we can. I don't know. It's a crazy goal. It's an egregious goal. I would really love to be at that point before I get my little operation. That would be great. And that is in mid-August. And I think we could do it. It would be a great thing before I take my little YouTube hiatus. Though y'all won't know I'm on a hiatus because I'm going to be recording. So anyways, if you're watching the video, if you could consider liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing, it really helps to get the videos out there. And it does genuinely help the algorithm to do the thing. When y'all interact with the videos, it really pushes the videos out further, and YouTube lets me know. YouTube will tell me, oh, your subscribers are watching more, which helped to increase its reach. Oh, your subscribers are engaging with the videos, which helped its reach. So YouTube be telling me in the same way that YouTube be telling me when not as many of you are watching. Okay, YouTube be telling on y'all in the studio. So trust and believe. I appreciate it. Today we are going to get into Love Island Season 7, Episode 30. And as you know, I know the Nicolandria stans are happy right now. I know the Nicolandria stans are literally writing dissertations about how y'all was right or whatever. So let's just jump into this episode. So we start off with Huda and Chris. They are talking about the post challenge.
How many tickles does it take to tickle an octopus?
Tentacles.
Okay, I got.
And the two of them are just really reveling in their partnership. Again, I think these two have a pretty good partnership in the villa. Do I really see yet whether it's going to go further? I don't know. I think it's very hard to tell with Huda. I think Huda is one of those people where, like, it's cool in the beginning with her, but depending on how it is, I feel like she switches up really quickly. And obviously Chris just got in here, so I don't really know much about him either. I think that overall, though, I like their pairing in the villa. Do I want them to win the show? No, because I do not want to see Huda win the show and think that her behavior earlier this season should be rewarded in that way. That's my personal opinion. And if you believe that Huda deserves the redemption arc, or you believe that people shouldn't be held to their mistakes, okay, congratulations, because y'all love to write paragraphs in the comments about how I hold this person accountable, but I don't hold that person accountable. I was cool with this person, but I wasn't cool with that person. I don't care, y'all. No offense, but I really don't care what y'all think because it is my opinion on my channel. And if you do not like it, that's okay. But they talk a lot about Huda's daughter. Not a lot. But basically Chris thanks her for talking about her daughter and being willing to do that because she doesn't talk about her daughter a lot, or she's not always open. For Huda, she does feel very comfortable with him and she does like again, the dynamic that they have. There's not a whole lot to see here with that situation. But we also go on to Amaya and Brian. At this point, they are cheesing from ear to ear coming out of that speakeasy. Remember, the two of them had a really nice conversation in there. They kissed again and again. I don't know. I know when it comes to Amaya and Brian that he was telling her from the beginning, like, hey, I understand you. I get you, culturally, I see that. In my personal, I do think Brian was laying it on a little bit thick, especially with the whole your cons are my pros, your cons are my pros. I just feel like that to me comes off very, very, very thick, but I don't know. What do I know? Anyways, there wasn't a whole lot to talk about with bedtime, but one thing to notice is that the edit did not show a lot of Cierra at all. We saw her kind of in the background in the makeup room, and a lot of people picked up in the first look that we didn't see her. So let's jump on to the morning time. Next morning, Taylor takes the initiative to plan a date with Clark. Ace is the waiter.
He is gone. What the?
Yeah.
He is helping, and notice again how Taylor, he moves totally different when he actually likes someone. Again, I like Clark and Taylor. I have no issue with them. I would not mind if they ended up winning even. I know that again, because we like Alandria, we're supposed to hate Clark and Taylor, for some of y'all anyway. But for me, if I'm watching the show, kind of unbiased, obviously we're all a little biased, but if I'm watching the show kind of like, I think they're okay. So Ace is the waiter, they sit down, they have this little picnic, and they just basically talk a little bit about life outside the show and what that could look like. Taylor says he's excited to get home, ride horses, just do the things he used to do. And Clark just says she's ready to live a hard knock life, I think is what she said, or something weird like that. But it seems again like the two of them have a pretty decent connection. There's not a whole lot going on there. Who else do we have? We got Pepe and Iris. So Pepe and Iris, I'm gonna be honest, sorry, I don't really believe in this connection. But they basically talk about how they are very comfortable with each other. Pepe says that he feels like he does want to continue to get to know her. He has an interest in trying to hang out with her and to build their connection overall. So they really just want to see where it goes. Then we have Brian and Amaya. And again, the two of them, very good banter. They're always talking about different things. This time they start to talk about flying dragonflies. And Amaya is very scared of it. So she talks about how she is first gen, first to be born in the US in her family, and also a first-gen nurse. So again, they talk about how they relate culturally, how they really do feel that fit and that connection. And she feels very, very safe around Brian, and they do end up kissing. I just really want this to work for Amaya. Again, it would be horrible to have this happen. I think personally, Brian's going to play the quote unquote long game. I think he's at least going to stick it out until they make it out of the villa. But I'm just not so sure that after the villa is over, he's going to want to continue to talk to her. I hope he does. I really hope he does. But there's just something about the situation that feels weird. Maybe it's the speed. I don't know. Anyways, we get a message from Iain when we get back from the commercial break that Cierra has left the villa due to personal reasons, meaning that Nick is single. And boy, oh boy, Nick says that he thought that he was closed off and he had everything in mind. And now, of course, because Cierra is gone, he does not know what is going to happen next. So Zach and Amaya.
Yeah, of course.
So obviously, like, trying to be more open with how I feel. I felt like there was still something there between us. Out of all the girls in here, I feel like you understand.
Zach knows that his booty is in danger. He is single and he really doesn't have connections. And let's be for real, Alandria is just not feeling it. And that is very, very clear. So he tries to lay it on thick with Amaya again. He says that, yeah, even though we did not have the best connection to start, he does feel like they understand each other the best. And he does really want to try to figure it out with her. And I'm like, Zach, give me a break. I'm so sorry, but Zach, you were so rude to Amaya. You told her you didn't even want to kiss her, and now you want to spin the block, talk about some, oh, I actually think that we get each other the best. Miss me with it. Bye-bye, Zach. Nobody really wants you here. I'm sorry. I just personally feel like Zach is not genuine whatsoever. It was giving I just wanted to be in the villa because you're not even trying with anyone here. Anyway, next up we have Ace and Shelly.
I definitely feel like everything we go through is for a reason.
It's just part of your story, and that's it.
They have a little conversation about their childhoods. Shelly opens up about growing up in a homeless shelter, but eventually, because she had her siblings around her for support, things did get better and they were able to lean on each other. Ace said he went to one of the best schools in LA, but then he would come home and he was sleeping on a beach chair. So I guess they both have that relation of having kind of a tough life or whatever the case may be. For Shelly, she does really appreciate that Ace is willing to open up and peel back some of those layers. And once again, they feel like they really do, I guess, connect. I just feel like there's not a lot to say. I feel like this episode gave us a lot of little conversations with the couples. Again, this is supposed to be couple building, and we're supposed to see, oh, these couples are making it further. It's just very hard because with this season, for the majority of the season, most people were moving all kinds of ways. So now it's hard to kind of have that transition where we're supposed to be like, oh, like we act like these couples were always progressing throughout the course of the season. I don't know. That's what it is for me. So anyways, across the villa, Nick and Alandria are talking because, again, they're both single.
Andrea, and I know that she'll have my back no matter what. I've always appreciated her fierce loyalty. I think she's...
And they both know that they're each other's best chance to win the game. I know the Nicolandria stands are not going to want to hear that, but Shelly and Ace are like, oh my God. Well, Ace specifically, it's like, oh, they could probably rekindle their romance. Look at the two of them. So Nick and Alandria are talking and Nick lays it on thick. He's like, you know, I've always appreciated how you've had my back. I've always appreciated how you've been there to me. I think that we've always had something where we had each other's backs. Listen to Nick's words, because Nick was, in my opinion, very clearly speaking between the lines. He was not saying, oh, I think we've always had a romance, or I always think we've had interest in each other. He was definitely saying things like, we've always had each other's backs. You know, I've had your back, you've had my back. So, you know, let's continue to have each other's backs and pick each other and at least get that 50K out of it for the two of us. No, and Nick, he would take that full 100. I believe it. If he and Alandria got to the end, I could see a world where Nick takes that full 100. But anywho, so Alandria, once again, she's like, yeah, the two of us have always had that connection throughout the villa. Even though we haven't had a romantic spark initially, we could potentially be willing to explore it. And Alandria, of course, is also laying it on fairly thick, in my opinion, saying that she's willing to explore a romantic connection with Nick, even though they didn't see something at first. Maybe they might see something now. And I'm like, yeah, guys, I know it's the finale. We need to have couples. And again, who's not going to try to, you know, put together a little something, something? I'm not going to believe for one second in my life that Nick or Alandria, neither one of them, let's be honest, but especially Nick, who just closed off with Cierra. Nick is a game player. I don't think Nick likes either one of those women, for the record. I didn't think Nick really likes Cierra, and I don't think he really likes Alandria. I think Nick sees that check and those dollar signs in his eyes, and that is why he is trying to make the moves he's making, and you will never convince me otherwise. So Nick does ask Alandria if, you know, she's open to other connections. He appreciates her fierce loyalty. And I'm like, oh, miss me with it. Of course, Alandria is going to say yes, that she's open to connections, because what else is she going to say? Next up, Amaya and Elan. Elan is another one who he is out the door. We don't even see him on the edit, but they talk about their favorite foods. Elan thinks Amaya's great. She always wears her heart on her sleeve. She always gives back that energy. And I'm like, Elan, miss me. You know, like, you know, Amaya. So Zach and Alandria, they also have a conversation. And for Zach and Alandria, they talk about what they are looking for in a partner. Alandria said she wants a man that can provide for her emotional support. She says, look, them bills gonna get paid no matter what. I got my own job. I got my own career. And I'm like, girl, I don't know. I just felt bad when I heard her saying that, because we've heard from Alandria various times throughout the season that she's always had to be strong. You know, she had to help raise her siblings because her mom was a single mom, and now she's saying, I don't need no man. And, you know, and I get it. I don't think you should ever necessarily have to fully rely on someone, but it's okay to let those walls down. It's okay to, I don't know, want to have a softer life. And it just makes me sad sometimes when I hear Alandria talk, because I get it and I've been there myself. So yeah, Zach says that he wants somebody where they're all in on him, where they're obsessed with him, he's obsessed with them. You know, they can be all in on each other. I don't really know. This conversation is pointless and useless because ain't nobody picking Zach. So anyways, they get a text that there is going to be a girls recoupling tonight, and the two boys, or the boy that is not picked, is going to go home. So let's jump into it. Before they have the recoupling, Nick does pull Alandria for a chat, and he once again lays it on and says, look, no matter what, I think you are the sweetest person. I want to continue having each other's backs. Look, let me translate what Nick says. Please pick me. Please pick me. Look, we can pick each other. We can get this 50K, and then we can get out of here and say it didn't work out. Sorry, you will never make me believe that the two of them have anything. And they both admit throughout this episode, we didn't have a romantic spark. All we've done is have each other's backs. You know, we've been good friends. They both have said it throughout the episode. So for the Nicolandria stans who are going to swear up and down that this is the resurgence of Nicolandria, listen to the words they said throughout this episode. Anyway, let's get into this recoupling. Oh, by the way, one thing I forgot to mention, they say in the episode, Alandria says, Nicolandria has a nice ring. And I'm like, not the producers coercing y'all by telling y'all that they're calling you Nicolandria. One of the producers definitely asked like a leading question and was like, what do you guys think about Nicolandria though? Doesn't Nicolandria have a nice little ring to it? That is definitely something that the producers put in their ear. So now they definitely are tipped off that America likes Nicolandria. You will never make me believe that these two want each other. Let's get into the recoupling. Ariana arrives and I'm like, baby, what is Ariana wearing? It was given Dune. It was given Dune, for real, for real. But they have a girls recoupling. Let's get into it. So Shelly chooses Ace, obviously. Clark chooses Taylor, obviously. Huda chooses Chris, obviously. Iris chooses Pepe. Alandria chooses Nick. And I was 90% sure that would happen. 10% chance she chooses Zach, but no, I didn't think that was going to happen. We didn't really see it like that. And lastly, Amaya chooses Brian, leaving Zach and Elan to go home. So the boys pack up their bags, they leave, and Nick and Alandria, they talk once again. So Alandria claims that she couldn't imagine choosing anyone but him. She starts to go into this whole thing about how this has happened so frequently that no matter what they've done in the villa, whether it's being dumped 2 times or whether it's their connections going to other people or getting kicked out, that they've always come back to each other. So to sell the story, Alandria's like, this must mean something. It must be fate, basically. It must be something that we keep coming back to each other no matter what. So then they start talking about how they can explore their connection fully without having distractions, with clarity. Because again, they did not see a romantic spark, but they want to see if there could possibly be one while having clarity. So they decide that that's what it's going to be. It's going to be the two of them. Alandria says she's so happy to spend the rest of her days. The hidden in parentheses was in the villa with Nick. And that is how we end this episode, child. I gotta say, I'm so happy that Cierra got out of this villa. We did not need Cierra anymore. At Peacock, it should not have taken you this long to get Cierra out. Let's not pretend like y'all didn't drag y'all feet to see how we were gonna respond as an audience. But anyways, there is nothing y'all could do to make me vote for Nicolandria. I am personally starting the campaign to not vote for Nicolandria. I'm so sorry. I can't do it. Anyway, we had a vote, y'all. So who did y'all vote for? Who did y'all vote for? Let me know who y'all voted for. But anyways, if you made it to this point of the video, that means you liked the video. So I would greatly appreciate it if you would consider supporting the channel by liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. It helps get the videos out there and it inspires me to keep creating. Thank you guys so much again. Sorry, the recaps have been a little all over the place. I am not at home, but my next recap you'll see in my regular setup. Thank you guys so much, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Bye.